Q21, questionnaire with 21 questions. It's the core of the 7-word system when it's related to personality assessment. It's called Psychometric. And there are different versions of Q21 for different topics. For example, addiction recovery and parenting and relationship. They're all online. But the one we're focusing on today, and it applies to all of them, Q21, is a way of seeing aspects of your personality through this systematic approach. And there's no profound absolute truth involved here. It checks out. It's been studied for correlation, so the 3 questions you answer relating to the word no correlate with the word no and none other of the other 7 words. So each of the correlation checks out. That's been done by a doctorate student in the Florida University, I think. Anyway, it works. So what you do with this Q21 is ask yourself these 21 questions. You mark it out of 10 and you total it up and you see which of the 7 primary words, no, hello, thanks, goodbye, please, sorry, or yes, is strong or weak. Now there's no absolute measure of this. It's all self-referential. This is for you to look at yourself. And you'll find that maybe one of them is obviously weaker than the others, maybe 2. And there's no subtlety about knowing what to do here. If your no is weak, you have to say no more often, more strongly. And if your sorry is weak, then you have to say sorry more often, more sincerely. And if your please is weak, then you have to ask people for things. And it's that obvious. The system is really based on common sense. Now, it derives from the 7 words studied within the Sufi planes of consciousness, different words, like earth plane relates to no, astral plane relates to hello, and so on. So there's an equivalence, and the 7-word system is a derivation from the 7 planes of consciousness in Sufism. So it's got a good ancestry. It's based on well-established spiritual philosophy. And it works on quite a subtle level as well, in the sense of it's therapeutic. So if you do this self-examination questionnaire, let's say once a month, you will notice that your lower scores tend to improve without your having to do anything or decide anything. And this is, I think, because you just inform your unconscious brain, your unconscious mind, that you would like high scores. We're conditioned to want high scores in examinations, aren't we? So if you score yourself 4 or 5 out of 10 for some other question, a part of you wants that to be bigger, better next time. And that informs your unconscious self to deal with the issue at hand. So in some strange mystical way, they have a therapeutic effect, these self-examination questions. Now, if you've got a weak no, it kind of says you're not very strong on your boundaries. You don't really know who you are well enough to choose what you really want. You're not authentic. If you've got a weak hello, then you're not really giving attention to all that's available. You don't expand your horizons, and you don't know about the give and take in life, and you can't tune into somebody else's way of seeing things very well. One of those problems. If your thanks is weak, then you haven't really trusted your heart enough to open and feel the value of that, appreciate the beauty in life, and to know what love is as a general experience, an everyday and ordinary experience, not just for one other special person, but loving life. Thanks gives you that. If goodbye is weak, then maybe you're a little bit slow on the pickup. You can't quite get what's going on. You don't make your realizations clear to your mind, and so you can't make decisions properly. And if you don't make decisions, then you can't finish the job. a decision is all about deciding to finish what you're doing and moving on to something else, to be free, to experience life more richly, and freedom is associated with that. A poor please score would mean that you're not really trying to share your life vision with anyone else. And you don't understand sacredness until you do that, really. A weak sorry means that you're a bit reluctant to take responsibility when you do something wrong. If it's your fault, you want to say so and make amends. That's the only way that you'll ever let go of resentment and this heavy burden resentment, and release you to move into a more accepting form of life. And if your less is low, then you can't accept life as being trustworthy. You're too controlling. If you make the decision to trust a bit more, you start with permission. You just allow things reluctantly, but then more and more you're willing, and eventually you just surrender to it, or you trust the flow. So you can learn about yourself by doing this questionnaire, and it takes 10 minutes to do that. There's a lot of information online about this, so you can read it up. However, another use for the Q21 is in counselling. You can try it on your friends, but let's say you're a practitioner of some kind and you need to just tune in with the client's kind of psychology. This questionnaire will help you do that really quickly. And you're not only looking at the primary words, which are the high and low scores for them, you're also looking at the individual questions. Some of these questions are very telling. Do you feel enthusiastic when you wake up in the morning? That's straight to the point, isn't it? You're enjoying your life or not. If you're not enthusiastic to get up, then there's something wrong. You have to change it. And you don't know whether to change it, what to change, how to change it. If you don't know what's wrong, you can't start. You can't start that journey. So this questionnaire will help clients identify what it is that they don't feel good about. So whatever therapy you're giving, it might be massage, but it will release on a psychological level if you've tuned in. If you've got the client on board and you're on board with what the client's wanting to fix, then any technique, any healing technique will help them have a release, a therapeutic experience. And the bottom line with this, if you integrate your practice with this Q21, is that you know what you're doing. You just really do know what you're doing with your client, not only the physical but the psychological. And the purpose of any counselling, including this one, is not really to fix anything. It's just to listen to what the client says is wrong, just to listen to them. And the secret to all of this work of counselling is big ears and a radiant heart. You just listen and love, and that's the deepest healing.